I think another thing and a big question is now the time for people to be silent?
Mm, yes. I'll tell you something that really stuck out to me. When everything started to happen and things hit the social media world, um, I had some people that I consider near and dear friends that called me instantly. They called me instantly, and to your point just a second ago, they said, "Steve, how do you?" Well, I want to start. They said, "Steve, I love you. I care for you as a brother. Tell me how you feel about this situation." And after I finished talking, I was waiting on a response, and they didn't even really want to respond. They they weren't asking me so they could voice their opinion. They were asking me to see exactly how I felt so they could garner an opinion and then be able to respond later. And I think for people that tend to stay silent in these type of situations, which is well within anyone's right. And we talked about this briefly. There were people that came out and spoke against this from day one, and then there were people, in my opinion, that waited until social media and the world said that it was okay, and then people spoke out. And some people would say, well, it's good to join the party, whether you join late or whether you're in the beginning. And what I would say, it's up to that individual. It's between them and God if they are sincere within their hearts and they want to see change, or if they really sympathize with some of the situations that are going on. What I would say, sometimes silence can give consent, or sometimes silence allows people to form certain opinions that can be demonizing, but also extremely hurtful. And I definitely won't share the name, but there's one particular person that I love dearly, and he wanted to remain silent, not because he didn't want to respond, but he just couldn't muster up the words
Sure.
to speak or to type. And he also said this, and I really appreciated this. He said, because of how I live my life, I would hope that me not posting something on social media wouldn't be detrimental to what people really think about me, because I live my life in such a way where people should know where I stand. And as much as I appreciated and that comment, I think eventually he got to the point where he felt he had to speak verbally on the issue. Everyone has a right to make whatever decision they want when it comes to either speaking, standard, or remaining silent. But I would also say it's sometimes wise to give things time.
Sure.
If we can't speak on something in an intelligent manner, sometimes it's good to gather information so we can put our best foot forward. But I will say this: when it comes to our moral compass, I believe we more times than not know when something's right and when something's wrong. And I don't expect everyone to stand and be bold and be a leader and to stand as strongly as you do at times, or as strongly as I do at times. But I believe we also have an obligation to do what's right. And sometimes that may mean speaking publicly.
Sure. And let's just clarify on the silence is not always not posting something social
That's right.
media or anything like that. Some of the examples that you shared of people that called and reached out to you, to me, they're not being silent. They're
100%.
reaching out in a way that they are. I guess for me, and this is a difficult decision, like you said, it's to each individual. But to me, I just sort of live off of, if something is wrong, it's wrong.
Mhm.
And I may not have all the solutions, I may not have all the answers, but if God's revealed it to me that it is wrong, and God gives me the words to say it is wrong, then I say it is wrong. Now, I may not have all those answers. I may not be able to explain exactly how it's wrong. And other people may have data, and other people may have statistics, and other people are going to have their opinions. Welcome to the world we live in, where everyone has an opinion and we don't necessarily agree with each other. But for me to just know what I believe,
That's right.
either what I've read in God's word, what I've experienced through love, through God's love, or through the love of other individuals, or what my moral compass has been calibrated toward, if I know something is wrong, I personally believe we should say something is wrong. Now, whether that's a big platform
or a small one,
or whether that's just a small platform, that's up to you to decide.
I like
You
that.
know, that could be you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, what is going on is wrong.
I love that.
And sometimes I think that we're not confident enough to
Mm.
address wrongs
Mm-hmm.
because there's a desire to run to certain verses in the Bible that speak out against judging and things like that.
Mhm.
But you and I both know, and this is a topic for a different time, but that's not really the purpose. That's not really the purpose of that verse.
That's right.
And we make it the purpose of that verse, but that's not really what it is. So I think both of us would encourage you to reach out to other individuals on both sides. Reach out to people that are even your own race and find out how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of individuals who are just scared to share how they're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
the difficulties that they're going through and stuff like that. I saw an unfortunate post, we see a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
where someone was displaying some thoughts and things like that, a younger individual, and posted a video, and his parents found out about it, and they're just mortified, they're terrified. Now I know this family, and I know that they wouldn't openly accept, or they wouldn't openly do this for their child, and so here they're trying to help make amends and trying to bring in some individuals have volunteered to come in. Let me sit down, let me educate, let me talk to your child, let me do this. And I think that that's power.
That is power.
You know, to cross that line where we have opportunities to be offended, and instead of that offense, we choose to take and make that an educational moment.
That's good.
You know, so that we can sort of overcome some of this ignorance.
I love what you said about being able to use our voices for the right reasons. I would also say, I know sometimes people worry about the backlash that they will receive when they stand, even if they believe that it's right. And what I would say to that, I believe there are times where we have to stand boldly, whether it's inconvenient, whether other people agree, whether it's an unpopular opinion. If we believe that it's right, sometimes we have to accept what comes along with standing for what's right. Even when it comes to Christianity and how we believe,
Sure.
There are times where we are going to suffer for righteousness, and I think how we do that. We do it gracefully and still praising God, because we realize that that's not the end all be all, and Christ will see us through those situations. And sometimes our convictions and who we are sometimes has to speak louder than the fear. And I believe God didn't give us the spirit of fear.
Right.
And I believe standing boldly sometimes it's extremely difficult for people because of the things that come along with being bold. But if you believe that it's right, sometimes I believe it could be well worth it.
Sure, I agree with you.